Welcome to this episode of Let's Be Civil. Our first international guest on Let's Be Civil is Monica Odlare. Dr. Odlare is a professor of environmental engineering at Mälardalen University in Sweden. She has extensive experience in wastewater treatment, desalination, crop measurement techniques, and renewable energy systems. She also specializes in small-scale off-grid solutions with related projects in developing countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Welcome everybody to another edition of Let's Be Civil, podcast for civil engineers. And today we are going international. Monica's in Sweden, actually is in her backyard. She's going to give us a little tour around the backyard and let us see what the neighborhood is like in the home that she lives in. She's been to the US. Actually, we met because she's come to Texas State and we're thinking about and working on some collaborative academic and research activities, which has been really fun. And if things settle down in the world, we'll get a little trip to her place and get to see what it's like to live and work in Sweden. We don't know when that will happen. I'm looking forward to it regardless of when, because I have not been before. But welcome, Monica, and if you want to give us a little tour quick before we start talking about engineering, that would be really cool.
Sure, I will do that.
Okay.
So I will switch the camera. So this is our garden. If I just do like this, you can see it's spring is very late in Sweden this year. Unfortunately, it's been quite cold. So this is what our garden looks like. That's the garage and our porch. And here's our house. It's a very typical Swedish house, all in wood and yellow or red, very typical Swedish houses. And this is a little suburban with the residential houses in the area.
So are
That's
you able
basically
to,
what it looks like. The city here is, sorry?
are you able to say in acres how large your land is? Or, I mean, I don't know what is it, hectares or something? Yes,
In acre, yeah, in square meters, it's
okay.
about 2,000 square meters.
Because it looks pretty
The
large.
house is it is large, and the house is about 210 square meters.
Okay.
This is the porch. We're a big family, so we need a lot of space.
So and I'm sure that
That's
people,
what it looks like.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm sure people in the US are going to want to know, do you have Ikea furniture?
Well, some furniture, definitely Ikea. But actually right now, Ikea, they don't have the best prices in Sweden. We have other furniture store where people, and it just drives me crazy every time to try to put together this furniture, because they come in like thousands of pieces and you have to put everything together yourself. And that's just, I don't know, it just drives me crazy every time. So I try to buy furniture elsewhere.
So for somebody like me that's a structural person, I love getting Ikea furniture and having all the pieces and needing to put it together. So our house is quite full. So the shelves behind me have our Ikea things. We've got, my wife and I have a little office together. So that's an Ikea unit. Those are Ikea desks. We are an Ikea family, I guess you would say. A lot of our stuff in our house comes from there. So I just, I like it. Some people don't, but I do. So so that it's interesting. So I noticed that the yard looked like it was recently mowed. Somebody out cut the grass in the last couple of days.
Yes,
You could
I
see the
did that.
lines. Yeah.
I like doing that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do. You did it.
No, that's kind of relaxing. Oh yeah, I do that. That's
Oh,
kind of my
okay.
job in the family. Even though I have 4 kids, I like to do it anyway because it's relaxing. It takes about 1 hour
Okay.
to do the lawn, and it's very relaxing, I think. So I do most of the garden work here, and
And so that's another interesting thing.
yeah.
My daughter-in-law is British, and I know people in other countries, and what we call the yard, you refer to as the garden, and what we call a garden is going to be the flower beds and the plantings and things like that.
Mm.
So when you say garden, do you mean all of those things? Is that yard and flowers and such, or do you have a different term that you use for like planting
No,
flowers?
no, that's just probably right. That's the garden, and we don't have many flowers, only a little bit,
Okay.
because it's been quite cold in the nights so far. So I didn't do much planting, and I've been quite busy this spring, so I don't do a whole lot.
Yeah,
You can
you've
see
been
that we
busy
have
coming to the US.
a little bit of flowers over here. Yes, I have. So we do a little bit of stuff. That's one of our cats over there. But yeah, it's mostly for recreation,
Right.
this yard that we have.
So I've got, I take a lot of pictures to document things. And so let me, I will share my screen with you here. Need something to, I'm waiting for an image to come up. So I'll trade you. Let's see. I'm getting there, sorry. So this is my house. Do you
Oh,
see
that's
it?
nice.
So this is what's
Oh yes, I
called,
do. Very nice.
yeah. Um, this is called Texas Hill Country style. And I forget, so there's some of my backyard. Oop, there's my garage. You can see
Yes.
so there's lawnmower. Trying to think of, so there's the detention pond. See, that's what you would be interested in. Well, that big,
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty good size. So, and that's looking out our front door. So what I've been doing, I don't have a picture of it on my computer, but I've been building landscaping all around these areas here. Because I don't like things on a slope. I like things to be level. So we've been
Yes.
working on that. So, okay, enough about that sort of stuff. So, tell me. Well, first let's do this. What is it? For the people that are going to be watching, they won't know. So tell us about your area of expertise in civil engineering. What is it that you like to do?
Yes, I am a professor, a full professor in environmental engineering. And as I see it, environmental engineering kind of works very well together with almost everything, construction engineering and energy engineering, because everything is related, I think. So I work mostly with environmental considerations in the engineering field. So I think that my heart is closest to water, actually, to clean water, drinking water for everybody, and to save the water resources. So I have been working a lot with different water treatment techniques and the remediation techniques. and how to produce high quality drinking water, how to use desalination for water production, and also how to work on efficient wastewater treatment plants. I like to work with modeling. We're using modeling and simulation tools to predict water treatment efficiency and also to use control strategies. So that's kind of where my heart is, but I also am very much into renewable energy systems and renewable energy technologies to try to move away from a fossil fuel society.
Yep. Now, in our
so that's kind of
conversation,
basically what it is.
yep. In our
Sorry.
conversations, you know, you have showed us different places around the world that you have traveled to do just you know, what you're talking about. So can you give us a little insight into your world travels, and you know, because it's not just with the U.S. You've gone a lot of places.
Yes, I've been a lot of places because water it's the same need everywhere in the world, and we are lucky in Sweden. We have a lot of water, but most people, or quite a lot of people, they don't have enough water. So I have been traveling a lot in Namibia. Many times I have been working in Namibia with desalination, biogas production, and solar home systems. I have also been working in Botswana with chemical treatments and chemical waste handling processes. I have been working in Tanzania with forestry and agriculture. I was there for several months, and I have been in India. I was a guest professor in IIT Bombay, so we were also working with wastewater treatment and biogas production. I have been in Zimbabwe and in South Africa, and also in Zambia. So yeah, I've been traveling. I like Africa as a continent, so I have been there quite a lot, and also India. And in China, I have been working in China at an island called Hainan Island, where we were looking at algae production for biogas production.
Yeah. So how do these world travels come about? Well, you know, this, you know, in our case, there was somebody that was involved with Texas State that you knew us and brought us together. But with some of these other experiences that you've had, how does that come about?
Yes, I think that these experiences with traveling abroad and working abroad, it made me very humble, I think, to all the challenges that there are in the world, and also how important it is that we work together as internationally. I think it's very important that we try to work cross borders in all these issues, because clean air and water, they don't know any boundaries, any land borders at all. They travel everywhere.
Right.
So I think in order to get the more healthy and safe environment, I think we really need to work together.
So are you?
I've seen that a little bit as my mission, to travel around.
So how do these collaborations get started? Are you looking for places to go, or are people contacting you? I mean, how does it begin for you?
Usually people have been contacting me, and when it comes to Africa, I was there. I'm not only a professor, I'm a part owner of a little consultancy firm, a little company. So we had some opportunities to do some work in Botswana. And when I was in Botswana, I met a lot of people, and we got to know each other. And the same thing was with Namibia. I have a colleague, he used to live in Namibia for several years. So he already had some contacts. And then I have met people at conferences, business trips, and people have reached out to me when they have seen my publications, for example. And
so a variety of different ways. Okay. And
yes.
So you said going to Africa is a place that is of interest to you. What is it about Africa that draws you?
Yes, I think that the people are usually very, very friendly, and I really love the atmosphere there. And they have many challenges where I can use my expertise and really try to do a difference in collaboration with them. And so, yeah, it's difficult to say exactly why, but I think it's been very rewarding for me to work in Africa, in different African countries. We have a strong collaboration with Pretoria University in South Africa. One of my PhD students, she's from South Africa.
Mm.
And she's in Sweden right now. So we try to build these long-term collaborations where after a few years, we have collaborations within all levels, both student levels, PhD student, and also senior faculty.
In the US, we have something called Engineers Without Borders. Is that organization exist or active in Sweden?
Yes, it is. So I am a member
Oh,
of
okay.
this. So yes, so I get the email updates and newsletters. So I haven't really done any actual work. We were contacted by them and asked if we could maybe create an online course for them. That was only like a couple of months ago. But other than that, I haven't really done any work for Engineers Without Borders, not yet anyway.
Well, I mean, the reason I ask is it sounds like some of the things that you're doing kind of fit with what Engineers Without Borders is trying to accomplish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
I was
yes, I think it does.
okay.
Mm.
Do you involve undergraduate students in your travels, or is it just is it graduate students, or is it just yourself and other either colleagues at your consultancy or at the university?
Mhm. No, we have involved undergraduate students, both and also graduate students. Usually, typically people writing the master thesis, if they're at master level, they get the opportunity to travel. So we try to create some project work for them. So every year, at least 4 students go to Namibia, for example. This year also I had 2 students going to South Africa and to China. And so, well, they were there at least before the Corona crisis, and then
Mm-hmm.
they came back home. But usually every year we try to, because we have established cooperation, so we try to at least get a few of them. Usually if they want to go, they have the opportunity to go.
So you mentioned that you know, you kind of laugh a little bit when you think about it. You know, the water and air don't know any geographic boundaries, and you know, it's kind of funny to think about it. But you know, obviously it's true. And you know, and so you said that you really feel these are problems we need to solve collectively. So what's the collaboration like when you go to some of these other countries to try to help them solve some of their problems? I mean, there's got to be some challenges. You know, is it language barriers or you know, just the ability to accomplish your objective? I mean, what are some of the things that pop up when you travel and try to help out some other areas?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's one of the things we have learned here, is that it's just impossible to go there and think that we can save the world and just try to push our technology into their systems.
Mm.
So I think we need to be much more humble, and also if they identify a need where they think that we can collaborate, then we can bring our expertise into there and they can bring their expertise into us. And if we meet halfway, usually that's where we work best, because we have run into all kinds of problems, just simple stuff, you know, that if we bring the device that we bring for a solar home system doesn't really attach well to the walls because of the structural design is completely different. And so it's just practical things, and sometimes also cultural barriers and language barriers, of course. So, but I still think that the cooperation will take us very, very far. So just as long as we are humble and ready to listen, I think it works very well.
Well, so, you know, when you said uh, uh, about sort of the compatibility of things, um, when you go on some of these trips, how receptive are the individuals that you're working with? Because you actually are what we would say is in the field. You're dealing with the public and trying to help them. You're not spending time like we have been so far in offices and in conference rooms trying to you know work out details. You're actually trying to implement technology. So what is it like working with the people, and how receptive are they to trying some of these new things, or is that cultural difference become, you know, a big hurdle in some of these in your visits?
Yes, sometimes I think that the cultural differences can maybe prevent the success also. I think that sometimes we are too eager. We come there and we quickly want to test our solution. So we bring some stuff, and we're actually, I'm one of them, we're actually out there in the field trying to get all these devices to work. And sometimes I think that we are too eager. We are in too much of a hurry, and we don't take the time. And sometimes because of the culture, maybe decisions, they cannot be made that fast. They need to be discussed in different committees and different groups and different levels in the organization that we had no idea about. So it takes forever. Sometimes we want to do something like tomorrow, but actually we would need to wait 2 months because there are several different layers of discussion groups where that needs to be discussed first. And sometimes we miss out on that, and we're just in too much of a hurry, I think. And that can be very frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
Because in our culture, we usually work on the clock and we are very busy always. And if we agree to meet at 9 a.m., in Sweden, typically we're there like 8:45,
Oh,
just
wow.
waiting to get started. And that we realized, okay, so 9 a.m. that might actually mean 10 a.m. and you just need to sit down and relax and not get too frustrated.
So I guess I was late joining the Zoom meeting when I got on about 5 minutes. I should have known and got on sooner. So, um, but have the public that you've worked with been receptive to at least trying what you know solutions that you're bringing to them, or do they get upset that somebody's coming to their community to do something? You know.
Yes, most of the time they have been very receptive. A few times we have experienced that they think, oh no, not another person coming here trying to save us. And they're so sick and tired of trying all these new technologies from Northern Europe that we come and try to establish over there. Everything from solar home systems to new types of toilets to water treatment plants. And sometimes, but most of the time, if we take the time to actually implement it and also uh, communicate very well and make sure that they have actually asked for it, so it's not something that we come and try to push into their
Right.
system.
So where in the world do you want to go next? Where have you not gone that you would be interested to go to, either personally because you just would like to see this another part of the world, or professionally that you can see that there's a need in another part of the world that you'd like to try to focus on?
Well, I think that I have never been to South America, so I think that I would really like to go there next if I would have the opportunity. And I have never been to Australia, so that would also be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
and so because I think also there seems to be an amazing nature and climate in South Africa. I mean, in South America. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be really nice to go there and see that.
So do you think you could handle the heat and the humidity?
I think so. I like the heat.
Okay.
That's also one thing I like about Texas. It's very nice and warm. Sweden is too cold, I think, for me.
And snow.
Yeah, we usually have snow in the winter. Yeah,
Yeah.
not so much this winter, but usually we do have snow. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're pretty active because you mentioned going skiing in one of our conversations. So
Mm-hmm.
how much are you able to go skiing?
In order to ski, we need to go a little bit further up north. So this winter, we didn't have much snow, but if you go up to the mountains, it's possible to ski if you go maybe 3-4 hours away from where I live. Or you can go south to the Alps in Europe, in Italy, or in France or in Germany. So there you can go skiing. So, but I also like to go cross country skiing.
Mm.
So I do that a lot. So
Does
that at
does it
least
snow
that's
enough
one
where
way to use the winter.
does it snow enough where you live to cross country ski? Or do you have to go?
Sometimes, not every winter, but sometimes it kind of depends. Some winters we do have more snow. The last winter we didn't have any snow at all, but sometimes it's possible to go cross country skiing. Yeah.
So I have actually my mom has it, and someday I'm going to have to dig it up because I tell people this story and they just, it's one of these that's kind of hard to believe. And I have the photo, I just got to find it. I learned to ski when we lived in Colorado. We lived, in Boulder, right by the mountains. So for us to go skiing, maybe 45 minutes or something like that of a drive into the mountains. But I learned to ski on wooden skis with laced up leather boots. Not any of the fiberglass and composite stuff that is used today. And so there's a picture of me and my brothers at one of the ski locations in Colorado outside of Boulder, with all of us standing there with our laced up leather boots and wooden skis. And I mean, when you took off your boots and skis, you really didn't want to like maybe go eat or something like that. It was not fun to then put them back on. It was okay when you got started and you were ready to start the day, but getting them back on was always a bit of a challenge. You had to decide, did you really want to go skiing again, or were you done for the day? Because tightening up those boots was not easy to do after you've been out in the cold for a while. So yeah, it's not, most people don't remember or never have had that experience of that little bit of technology, and how far things have come skiing wise. But after we moved from Colorado, I had never had the opportunity to ski again. So I don't know, I probably at this point in my life spend most of my time picking myself off the ground. So it wouldn't probably go too well for me. So, so tell me a
You can
little.
try it if you come to Sweden sometime.
I probably would try it. I just don't know how well I would do. So, tell me if about what you would like to do. Let's say no restrictions. You're an individual interested in water. You'd like to do something that would be beneficial to society. If you didn't have to worry about, any kind of restrictions, what would you want to do to help the world, to help a community? I'm sure you've sat around at times, when you're mowing the yard, when you're mowing the garden, and have had some thoughts like this. What would be your ultimate goal to help people?
Yeah. Well, the ultimate goal will, of course, be water to everybody. So I think that water is that's kind of a basic need that everyone should be able to have. It should not be about cost or where you are in the world. It should always be something that everyone should be able to get. I mean, it's the only thing in the world where you cannot survive without it for more than a few days. So lately I have been looking a lot at what we call urban farming, and also how to connect the water and nutrient resources to farm resources. It doesn't need to be in urban, it can also be rural. So if we do have water and we do have nutrients, to connect that directly to farming. I think that those systems, I think that's pretty cool, so that you kind of close the circle and you use the resources that you have in a much more efficient way. So I would like to build a society where you use all the resources that you have in terms of water and nutrients and energy, and kind of close the circle in the circular economy, almost like if you would have a settlement on Mars or something, you know, to see if it's possible. That would be my dream.
So we just have a couple minutes left, but what I would take away from the talking with you today is that not only does water and air know physical boundaries, but passion knows no physical boundary either, because I can tell, you know, from talking with you today and other times, that there's a deep passion for you when it comes to water and to helping people have that, because just all our conversations, you know, it comes out of you and all that you say, and you know, and expressions on your face as we talk is that you're very passionate about this. And so that's really neat. You know, I mean, sometimes people don't think about what it's like for individuals in other parts of the world, and you know, we only see our own little corner of the world, and you know, we figure everybody else is somehow very different from us, but it's not the case. We're all very much alike, and I just love the passion that comes when you talk about water. You and Keisuke, our colleague at Texas State, he's similar. You guys are meant to work together. So I'm very excited about that for both of you.
Yes. I think so too. He's also very passionate about these things. So we connected, I think, the moment we met. So it will be very, very fun to start cooperating with him and with all of you.
Yep. Very excited. And so when we are able to travel, I'm going to have to break out my body cam and get and everywhere we go, I'm just going to walk around with the camera on my chest and record everything that we see and everywhere we go, and put that on another podcast here down the road. So we'll have to do a live interview right there, and either at your home or on campus or something like that when we come to visit. So so
that would be very nice. Yeah, as soon as they lift the travel restrictions, I'm looking forward to come back and visit you.
Yeah,
we do have funding for it now, so we can just wait, and hopefully the flights will start to go soon.
Yeah. I'm excited about our collaboration. So I know you are too.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I definitely am.
Yeah. Well, we're actually over our time here, so which is not a big deal. I enjoy these conversations very much. It was great to see you today. I know it's afternoon for you. Is the family returned from school and such, or?
Yep, they are starting to come back.
Okay.
So now it's getting full house.
Right. So I will let you go, and you can go in and do the mom thing and get everybody settled and doing their activities for the remainder of the day. So thanks for being part of our Let's Be Civil podcast, and we'll be talking soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yep.
It was very, very nice.
Yep. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.